3. You're listening to BBC Radio Wales Breakfast with me, Claire Summers. Now, staff at 3 Welsh universities are beginning an 8-day strike today in a dispute over pensions and pay and conditions. The action is also over the gender pay gap, as well as a squeeze on wages. Cardiff University, Bangor University and the University of Wales are among the 60 institutions across the UK taking part in action. Andy Williams is the University and College Union spokesman for Cardiff University. Morning, Andy.
Good morning.
Just tell us exactly why is this strike happening?
This strike is happening because of a perfect storm of systemic and structural issues that are facing universities in the UK at the moment. And academics and staff and IT and librarians, all of the members of our different union, we're reaching the end of our tether. We went on strike last year about our pensions to defend our pensions, and we successfully managed to do that. And as well as, fending off a huge cut to our pensions, we showed that our pension scheme was sustainable and quite healthy. But the people who run the pensions and our employers just won't recognise that, and they're coming back for it again. So we're having to be forced onto the picket lines again, and this time we're also out because of pay, which has fallen in value by 20% in the last 10 years, similarly to other sectors in the UK. But more importantly than that, this time it's about workload, unhealthy workloads that our members are suffering on a day-to-day basis, forcing us out of the profession, as well as the issues you mentioned around casualisation, kind of gig economy style working conditions in the modern university, and the gender pay gap, which is like 15% in UK universities as a whole, 17% in Cardiff University, which is just shocking. And these things need to change because we can't work under these conditions.
You say forced to go on the picket line. Do you have an option, do you think? Is strike action the only way?
Strike action is only ever an option of last resort, and it's something that we're doing incredibly reluctantly. This is a profession that goes above and beyond for its students. We really don't want this. But like I say, we've been negotiating on these issues for a number of years now. On some of them, the employers won't even negotiate nationally with us on casualisation, on workload and the gender pay gap. They don't even think these are issues. They won't recognise them as the huge problems they are. So we have to, unfortunately, and we're ready, and we're going to bring universities to a halt.
Are students supporting you in this? Surely this must be very disruptive for them.
This was one of our worries, to be honest. As you might imagine, the students are the ones who are most affected by strike action, kind of immediately in universities. But the National Union of Students has come on board with us. Last week, the Cardiff University Students' Union backed their lecturers. Students are told at every opportunity that they're consumers in British higher education. But when it comes to the crunch, this last few weeks and last year as well, when we went out to defend our pensions, they really stepped up and they've acted like citizens, they've acted like comrades, and we're absolutely proud of our students in the way that they're supporting us this time around.
Should the universities compensate students then for this disruption?
Well, last time this was one of the things that students were calling for, and UCU nationally and Cardiff UCU backed their calls. We've already heard students saying that they will be doing this, and I and my union colleagues and staff who are out on the picket lines will back them every step of the way if that's the case.
Around 60 universities taking part in the action, including Cardiff and Bangor. How disruptive, though, could this be to the winter schedule for lectures? I mean, these are really important times, aren't they?
It is really important. They are really important times of the year. But unfortunately, when we withdraw our labour, we have to withdraw our labour at the times when they're going to be most disruptive and when they're going to have the most effect on the smooth running of universities. And like I said, UCU, unless the management and employers negotiate with us seriously around the table, are prepared to bring universities to a halt in this country for the next 8 days.
And Andy, if things don't change, how serious is this for our universities?
This is crunch time for our universities now. We're at a moment in history where we can decide whether we want our universities to be run like businesses, whether we want our students to be seen as consumers and staff to be seen as expendables, or whether we want a true public university which holds faith with its values and which provides something more than just jobs and skills to to our students. And I think that's partly what we're doing today. We're providing our students with a different kind of education, that if you stand together and in solidarity with each other, you can improve your working conditions and your pay, and you can improve universities for all, not just staff, but for students as well.
And that 8-day strike begins today. Andy, thank you for coming in. Andy Williams there, the University and College Union spokesperson for Cardiff University. It's at 6:28. The inventor of the